What's up, Cooligans? It's the Coolian here, and I got a brand new camera!
Yo.
May I present to you the A7S III. I don't think I've been this excited for a piece of technology in a really long time. I got it about a week ago, and right away put it to use on a film shoot to accompany our FS7. But I'm really excited to tell you about why I chose to go with this camera, why I'm so excited for it, and why all of my dreams will come true. So first off, the A7S III is not a cheap camera. The camera goes for about 5,500 Canadian, and that's without the lens, and I will get to that in a second. It's also really hot in here, and I'm wearing a sweater. I don't know why I decided to do this, but I'm probably gonna get pretty shiny by the end of this video, so let's see what happens. But before I get into it, what I'm very excited to do right now is to switch to the A7S III, and we'll all bask in its glory. Thank you so much, 5D Mark II, for all of your hard work, but this will be your last vlog video. You've earned a long rest. You will always stay in my arsenal. But for vlogging, you're dead. Here we go! Oh snap! So the first thing you might have noticed is that all of a sudden the light is a little bit different, and that's actually to do with the first benefit from this camera, for me anyway, as a vlogger, is that now this camera has a flip out screen, which means I can actually see myself without wiring up an extra monitor that took forever. The reason that makes a light difference is because I'm actually shooting through usually a ring light, but now I wouldn't be able to see the screen if I was shooting through the ring light, so I'm actually just bouncing it off the wall to the side until one day I have a better setup for my lighting. Flip out screen, that's great. Another really helpful thing for the vlogging is the fact that it has actually fantastic autofocus. On my old camera, I would have to sit there with the monitor and reach my hand up to the lens and twist it around, and hopefully I was in focus. And you know what? Most of the time I wasn't. So now I'll never have that problem again, because this thing locks onto my eye over here, and can also lock onto animal eyes as well. If you set it within the functions, you can track animal eyes. I don't know how often I'm gonna use that, because I'm not an animal. I mean, I guess technically I am an animal, but anyway, I digress. So that means that setting up for vlogging is gonna be a lot faster. That's one of the reasons why I've taken a little bit of a hiatus from vlogging, is because it takes a while to set up. I'm shooting in my bedroom, so, but now it's a lot faster. Just plop it on a tripod, plug in the microphone, turn on the light, and we good to go. But as a filmmaker, I'm also really excited for this camera because of its amazing image capabilities. Whoops, I should put my phone on silent. I thought it is on silent. It's not. All right, guess it is, but it rang anyway. So as a filmmaker, I'm also really excited for this camera for several reasons. The first one being it has amazing image capabilities. This camera shoots in 4K, as does a lot of other cameras, but the 4K in this camera is actually really high quality. Believe it or not, 4K is different on different cameras depending on their sensor, as to how sharp those pixels are. So, very excited about that. In fact, this might be the first one that's shot in 4K. So, do you notice the difference? Second, it shoots in 10-bit. Now, what does 10-bit mean? 10-bit is referring to the number of colors that the camera can accept. So I forgot to do the math before this. So let's put them up on the screen over here. Whoa, that's a lot of colors. Anyway, it can also shoot in log format. Now, log format is something that I'll be doing probably a video later on, but essentially it can increase the dynamic range of the image. It shoots flat, so it looks like garbage right out of the camera, but that gives a colorist a lot more leeway to then bring the contrast back in and not lose detail in the highlights and the shadows. So if I'm shooting something for cinematic or commercial reasons, chances are I'll be shooting in a flat color profile. I just accidentally moved the chair out of the way, and I for a second got really worried about focus, but I don't have to because it's locked onto my eyes! It also has amazing slow motion capabilities. It can shoot at 120 frames a second in 4K, and 240 frames a second in regular 1080p HD. That's gonna be some crazy slow-mo. It also has internal stabilization. That's something that was really difficult about the old camera for these vlog purposes, is that if ever I wanted to do handheld shots to showcase some of the things I was talking about in my vlogs, that's not really possible without a stabilizer because it was getting a lot of my handshake in there. So now this is gonna be able to record somewhat smoother handheld footage, which means that I'll be able to just go out into the world and take sample images with much greater ease. It also helps a lot with photography because it's gonna record less of your handshake in that as well. So portraits can be sharper and you can go down to lower shutter speeds, which means that you can let in more light. It has incredible low light capabilities. So you can get really, really, really bright images in really dark areas. And it does not have the same kind of noise that some of the older cameras would have at those levels. So top notch. Finally, it has a touchscreen, but I keep forgetting about that and just going through the controls in the back. So I should probably get used to that touchscreen because apparently it's helpful. I don't know, I don't like getting fingerprints on my screen. So we'll see, Maybe I'll just old school go through the menus like with the buttons on the back, like an old man. Old men love buttons. Look at this. In focus. In focus. Oh my God, Julian, your eyes. And check this out, watch this, watch. Where'd my eyes go? They're right here. Locked back on. Locked back on. It's a really good thing I shaved the back of my neck today. Otherwise that would have been really embarrassing. So finally, along with this, I also got a 16 to 35 millimeter GMaster lens. It's a 2.8 aperture lens. The reason I did is because my actual plan for this, other than using it as a second camera or sometimes as a main camera on film projects, is that I'll also be using this as a real estate photography and video camera, which I'm really excited for, entering that market. So, you know, if you got a house, you wanna film it, that's me. You know what the problem is with this flip out screen is I'm gonna be looking at this so much more now to check my framing, so my eyes are gonna be darting more. I swear I'm not hiding anything. I'm not nervously looking around. The only downside to this camera, and it's really, from my point of view, like the only downside so far, is that for photography, it has a really low resolution sensor. It only shoots 12 megapixels compared to my old 5D Mark II, which is now like 10 years old and shoots at 21 or 24 or something like that. And essentially all that means is that if I take a photo, I cannot afford to crop it, which means I have to have the framing really solid from the beginning. I very rarely crop my photos anyway, maybe just a slight readjustment. I could probably still use it for real estate photography and maybe portraits, headshots, as long as they're not being printed at anything higher than an 8x10. The image quality of the photos are fantastic in this, and so as long as you just have some forethought when you're taking your images, you don't have that same leeway to crop in, so you have to really make sure that the framing is solid from the beginning. Thank God my degree is in photography, so hopefully I'll make all my teachers proud. I'm just really excited that this camera is gonna be able to allow me to enter more markets that I wasn't able to before. My company has the FS7, which is more of like a cinema camera, so it's a bit bulkier. But the problem is that trick it out a little bit to get smooth footage, to get whatever, all the things surrounding it are so much larger, whereas you can buy a gimbal for these cameras for like $600 to $1,000, and an equivalent for something like that would be so much more. So I'll be able to enter more markets, get smooth footage, get different kinds of shots with still amazing image quality. This camera has such a good sensor, so I'm really, really excited. It's got so many possibilities. Can you see him smiling? I think I've been really looking forward to shooting my first vlog on this. If I can gush about this camera for days, this video is probably way too long already. And yeah, that's it, that's all. Again, thank you to the 5D Mark II that's sitting on my bed. It's still gonna stay as my photo camera. So that's it, friends. Welcome to the A7S III, our new vlogging camera, and I'm really looking forward to making a whole new series of videos. The world's been nuts. It's been a crazy couple of months for me on my end. A lot of up, a lot of down, but you know what? We gotta keep moving forward. We gotta keep looking ahead. There's so many exciting projects to make, and I'm really, really excited to be sharing them all with you. thank you for watching. If you liked it, why don't you subscribe? Subscribe to me. Subscribe to me. And then like and all that stuff, share. So there you go. I didn't actually check the sound ahead of time before shooting this whole vlog, so I really hope it's decent. See you later.